backstory. Jacob is underneath all this. Now, Jesus literally did see Nathanael sitting in a place that he could only have seen through divine omnipotence. But I tell you this because Jesus also saw the insight of who Nathanael was and where he was at and what he needed to have his eyes of faith opened. From being bound, like hidebound, into that Old Testament law and understanding, and to be opened up to the new thing that God was doing in Jesus. And in that, Nathanael joins so many other people that Jesus meets in discovering that he already knows them. Somehow, Jesus has already seen them. And he looks eye to eye and heart to heart and talks with them. So it's not, you go on a hike, and with your map, there's always some part of the trail, isn't there, where you're not quite sure if you're still on the trail? And, yeah, that's what's happening here. There is a trail. I think about our DR folks now that have all just arrived, They're down there this week. We're praying for them. And there is a trail. And Jesus is going to lead them. They can't see it, but it's there. That's what's happening here. For Nathanael and for us. And for us. And then Jesus says to Nathanael, you think that's amazing stuff that I saw you on a fig tree and I know about you? You're going to see greater things than this. All right. This was a little harder to pack here. Gee. All right, we got the sleeping pad. How I'm going to get this back in there, I'm not sure. There we go. Sleeping pad. That's that statement I explained again, that part of the Jacob story and the way that this story ends. You're going to see greater things than this, Jesus says to Nathanael. You're going to see angels ascending and descending on the Son of Man, and we're all going, huh, what? What's he talking about here? So, just to unpack that, this has to do with that part of the story when Jacob was running away from his misdeed. And he sleeps on the roadside and has this vision of, the staircase to heaven, and God comes down. And not only does God name him Israel, there's more to that story. It's that God comes to reassure Jacob while he's on the run that the promise God made to his grandfather, Abraham, is going to continue, and it's going to continue through Jacob. That God is still with him. So it's that reassurance, God is still with him. And in fact, when the Jerusalem temple gets built, in the Holy of Holies, on the floor, there was a stone. This is the innermost part of the temple in Jerusalem. There was a stone they said was Jacob's stone. The stone he laid his head on that night. And they believed that the Jerusalem temple, and in that place, was the connecting place to God. What is Jesus saying here? You're going to see angels ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. Do you see? Jesus is saying, now I'm the connecting point. It's me. There's no temple anymore. I am the way and the truth and life, Jesus says. And he says it in so many ways. Till they understand. Nathanael finally understands because he is found one more time, and that's John 21, the very end of the gospel, when he sees the resurrected Christ. He's at the beginning and he's at the end. Jesus said you'll see far greater things, and he does. Nathanael, that's the story of Nathanael, but it's kind of the story for us too. In this new year, I want us to be refreshed. And that invitation again to come and see. Follow. out of the unexpected, out of small places, out of people that will surprise you. I want to close with just a news story. You might have seen this week. And it's about a teen in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, who's kind of a repeat offender and, did something again and was being booked by an officer in the detention facility. Diane, did you see this? You're nodding. How many of you saw this story? I just couldn't believe it. So he's with the officer in kind of a holding cell, and the officer had a heart attack. This just happened this week. And collapsed. And now this 16-year-old teen is handcuffed. What do? Nobody's around. Well, he jumped up off his chair and he starts kicking a security, like a fence or door or something, and he starts shouting at the top of his lungs, and he gets attention, and he gets a medical team to come, and they save this officer's life. And I'm so excited for this kid. Because then they talked in the story, they've got like a picture of him surrounded by officers now. Complete turnaround, isn't it? It's like, here's a kid, they're like, yeah, let's process him again, he'll do his time and spit him out, That's not going to happen. Now, we don't know for sure what will happen, but what an opportunity for life-transforming change in the relationships now that were adversarial now are friends, right? And that they saw good in this kid. And who knows if anybody ever did. I don't know what his circumstances are. But an opportunity for this teen to see good in himself and for others too. And isn't that like Jesus to come to us too and see the good in us? To approach us wherever we're at. Come and see. Be refreshed by that invitation. An offer of life-saving grace. Jeremy Camp's going to sing a song like that for us now.